Good evening, I'm Bo Williams, and welcome to The 7. Let's get a look at the big 7 stories right now, and topping the list for us tonight. And more breaking news as the TBI puts out an Endangered Child Alert. They're stepping up the effort focused on missing 11-year-old Knox County girl Aubriana Mays. And we've been telling you about her through the afternoon. Agents say Aubriana, she also goes by Bree, was last seen Tuesday in the Halls community. Now, what we've heard from the Knox County Sheriff's Office is that Bree went missing from a home on Crippen Road near Maynardville Pike at some point between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. She was last seen wearing black pants and a T-shirt. Anyone with information needs to call 865-215-2243. Turning now to our Big 7 at 7 for you, we are getting to see the court documents laying out Tennessee's fight with the NCAA over money for student athletes. It's a clash which could really shake up the landscape of college athletics, and it has snowballed within the past few days. The week started with round 1 reports of the name, image, and likeness investigation against the University of Tennessee. Round 2, UT Knoxville Chancellor Donde Plowman hit back hard, calling out the NCAA's increased enforcement as, quote, morally wrong. Yesterday, round 3, it turned into a tag team match, if you will, with Virginia and Tennessee suing the NCAA over those rules. Well, today we're learning state lawyers are trying to beat the bell, if you will, and taking this to court. Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti, Tennessee's man in the ring, says the lawyers in his corner saw the NCAA going after Florida State less than a month ago, knowing they needed to take action ahead of the February 7th deadline for players to sign their national letter of intent. That moment matters because a central question in this prize fight is whether NIL deals can be struck before or after players commit to a school.
We're hustling to be able to release the lawsuit as quickly as possible to try to stave off any enforcement that would hurt student athletes. News coming out about Chancellor Plowman's letter to the NCAA nudged it along further. Once the signing portal opens, either the rules that are causing problems remain in place or they don't. They're not very clear rules, they're not very good rules. Then the student athletes coming in are going to suffer and not benefit nearly as much as they should from their name, image, and likeness rights being devalued.
With the time pressure here, just 6 days to the letter of intent deadline, Skrmetti is asking the federal court for a temporary block on the NIL recruiting rule. A statement put out by the NCAA yesterday made the argument that schools themselves do not want boosters involved with recruiting and that the lawsuit only adds to what's often described as a Wild West atmosphere. Our next Big 7 story involves an arrest involving a weapon found at a Knox County school. Now, Knox County sheriffs say a South-Doyle freshman is now in custody after making a threat of mass violence on the social media app Snapchat. Now, we're continuing to monitor this incident as well as that investigation of a loaded magazine that was found in the bathroom of the same school. Now, the sheriff's office does stress that the two incidents are not related. Our Big 7 continues now with no injuries being reported after a West Knox County house fire. It happened this afternoon. Rural Metro responded to the 1800 block of Duncan Road. Once on scene, authorities say they found a single-wide mobile home engulfed in flames. The home in a wooded area with an extension cord running from a neighbor's home as its only source of power. We're told fire crews were able to contain the flames. Our next Big 7 story is a deadly fire. One person is dead after a fire in Campbell County. Authorities arrived at the scene early Wednesday morning of a structure fire at the Creekside Market. This is off of Stinking Creek Road. In the moments before fire crews got there, people from the area said they noticed smoke coming from the building. One woman who lived across the street recalled noticing the lights on in the building earlier that morning and realized there may be somebody inside. 2 men attempted to render aid.
Ben, he took a hatchet and busted the front glass out, and I think he knew that it was really dangerous for him to go inside, and we were yelling, and we believe we heard her, like I said, and then the other gentleman arrived, and he busted out the window, and there was so much black smoke. They both tried to go in, but they knew.
She says she did not know the woman who was inside, but Creekside Market was a common area for people around Stinking Creek to visit. The woman's identity, by the way, has not yet been released. Our next Big 7 story for you tonight, a LaFollette couple has now been indicted after a TBI investigation into the abuse and financial exploitation of an elderly man. The investigation began in December into allegations against Robert Heatherly and Alicia Heatherly. Agents found out the couple worked as caregivers for a 79-year-old man and financially exploited him and failed to provide proper care. Both were charged yesterday with financial exploitation of an elderly person and aggravated abuse or neglect of an elderly adult. The two were arrested today and booked into the Campbell County Jail. A big 7 to 7 continues right now with AMR's new contract as Knox County's emergency medical service is now underway. You know, this comes after Knox County commissioners selected AMR out of 4 candidates late last year. Shortcomings with AMR's performance were highlighted during that selection process, especially with response times at understaffed hospitals. The previous contract between AMR and the county included 12 amendments over the past 10 years.
In the physical world, if you were to take a child into a liquor store to buy alcohol, or go into a market to buy cigarettes, or take them to a strip club, then...
All right, obviously that is from another story from Marsha Blackburn. We'll be getting that in a little bit. But again, AMR, that contract now officially underway. All right, our final Big 7 story involves our roadways, potholes to be exact. As you know, if you're driving around, they are everywhere and at times tough to avoid. Repairs can be an additional burden if you're not careful. According to AAA, the average cost of most pothole-related repairs is more than $400. Plus, hitting one or trying to avoid one could cause an accident along with injuries to either you or other drivers. Now, we spoke with TDOT spokesperson Mark Nagy about tips that you can apply to be safe when trying to avoid those potholes.
You look ahead of yourselves and you have enough room to move into another lane safely, then do that to avoid a pothole. If you're not able to do that, slow your car down. Hopefully that can limit the impact that a pothole could have to your vehicle. So make sure you give yourself extra room between yourself and the cars that you're following or beside, just in case you have to get into another lane.
Nagy says road crews are out there every day to help repair as many potholes as possible. If you see them, you need to move over and give them plenty of room.